I'm about to show you how to create a new website for your home service business using the exact same frameworks we use for each of our clients that have helped add hundreds of thousands of dollars to their businesses. Just check out some of the recent wins over the past couple months from our clients. I'm going to be showing you the different sections that you need to build your first website in Squarespace. And at the very end of the video, you're going to be walking away with a new website that you could start showing to your potential customers and actually acquiring new jobs for your home service business. How's it going, guys? Steven here, back with another video. I'm the founder of flexwebdesign.ca. We work with home service businesses to help add 6 figures in revenue in under 90 days or they don't pay. And if you're a home service business doing between 2 to 10 million a year in revenue, you want to check out that, go to flexwebdesign.ca and book a call with me there. But back into the video, we're going to be showing you how to create a website from start to finish. Like I said, using the same frameworks, concepts, and thinking processes behind what we do for each of our clients. So you're going to be walking away with a website that can acquire new business and let people contact you and make it easy for them to do so. So without further ado, let's get right into the video and start building your first website. Before we get into the actual design of the website and setting it up from start to finish, so starting out, getting the website built, all the systems set up until you're finally finished and have a full website ready to publish to the internet, we have to define some things first. We got to define the terms, and then from there, take the next logical steps so that we're all on the same page throughout the entire process. Whenever you're going through a process in your business or in life in general, it's important to define what are these terms we're using, and then what are the objectives from those terms so that we can be on the same page and make decisions based on the same criteria. And then from that, make the objective for what we want the website to accomplish from that definition, and then define the variables needed to meet that objective. And then finally, define some do's and don'ts, some characteristics of the website so that we create one that fully meets the objective, okay? So in our case, people can define a website differently. We're making a website for your home service business. This isn't a website for a software company, okay? While we have created websites for those industries, for example, like a law firm or an accountant, or professional services of that nature, this isn't a website for those industries. While we do serve them, we're specifically talking about home service businesses right now and how you can create one, okay? So HVAC, renovation companies, plumbers, tree services, landscapers, everything in that nature. We're trying to make a website for that. So how are we going to define a website? Okay. So this is just my definition. Okay. And we're saying it's a platform to communicate your value to your target audience so you can get them to buy your stuff. That's it. We're going to keep it really simple. We don't need to overcomplicate this. We just want to have somewhere that we can communicate what we do, what our values are to our target audience, which our target audience is the person that we're selling our thing to, so they can so you can get them to buy your stuff. All right. So first step done. We've defined our term of what a website is. Now that we know that and we're all on the same page, and again, you could define a website as whatever you want, but for the purpose of this video and showing you how to make a website for your home service business, this is what we're going to stick with. Okay. What is the objective? We want to communicate our value to potential customers and get them to reach out to us. Okay, it's very similar to the definition of what a website is, but that is the nature of it, right? That's the nature of our objective. It's going to be very similar to our definition of what a website actually is. So we want to, really there's two things here. Communicate our value to potential customers and get them to reach out to us. Okay, we're going to keep that in mind for the next step, which is defining our variables. So what are the variables needed in order to make that happen? Okay, so these are the variables. As you see here, they're just going to be our sections of a website, right? You go to a website and you see the first section, then you scroll down, you see the second section, third, and so on and so forth. We're going to be making a website because this is like intended for people who are making their website for the first time. It's just going to have one page. We don't want to overcomplicate it. And the reason for that is because as you continue to grow your company, scale, build, and really get clarification and clarity around what your customers need and the information that they need to be given on a website, you'll scale the website up yourself and you'll know exactly how to do that. But at this point, you're probably newer out in your business, right? This is probably for people who are just starting their business or 3 to 5 years into their business. It's going to be the first thing that you need. You don't need a ton of information. So we're just going to be using one homepage, one landing page to make it as simple as possible. So in intro section, to sum up our value proposition or offer, right? That's just the first thing that people see. We got to sum it up so that they're inclined to stay on the rest of the website. A social proof section, right? We want to show our competence. So what does this look like? It could be Google reviews, could be some of our past projects, our portfolio, things of that nature, where we're showing our customers or the people on our website what we've done in the past for people and the results they've gotten. So 3, a services section. We want to tell people what we do, right? If you're an HVAC, you probably do heat pumps, you probably do air conditioning, you probably do furnaces, right? If you're a general contractor, you probably do bathrooms, kitchens, right? Tell people what your services are so that they can see exactly what you provide and if you provide the thing that they're looking for. 4th, a section telling people about your process. It's great to define how you work with your clients so that people know what to expect if they're going to reach out to you and work with you, right? They want to know about your process. How do you give quotes? How do you fulfill on your services? What's the communication cadence like when you're actually fulfilling on your service? How long can I expect this process to take? People like to know this information because it gives them an expectation of what your services are going to be like and if they're even qualified to work with you. 5, a contact section so people can reach out to you. Okay. So again, going back to the goal, the objective of the website, we want to get people to reach out to us. And so to do that, we have to have a section or somewhere on the website where people can reach out to us and make it simple for them. 6, branding, which is communicated through each section. So we want to clearly define our brand, our values, what do we stand for as a company, what kind of client are we trying to attract? And that's not one section necessarily, but it's communicated throughout each section in the copy and content of that section, who you are, what your brand is as a company, and who your services are intended for. Finally, what characteristics does our website need to have, and more importantly, not have, in order to fulfill on our objective? What do we want? We want to have clear, descriptive headlines that draw people's attention in. Again, on that intro section at the very top of the website, we want to make it clear, but also descriptive in the headline, what we do and what our value proposition is, what our offer is, right? That's just another way of saying it, so that people's attention gets drawn in and they say, hey, you know what? This person or this company might offer the service or solution that I'm looking for. I want to stay on this website and read a little bit more. Second, making calls to action visible and frequent so people know what the next step is to take, and they can take it at any time they want, okay? So you want to make it easy for someone to reach out to you. This is one thing that really annoys me when I'm on a website and I'm looking for a service or something to buy. I want to be able to buy that thing or reach out to that person as quickly and as easy as possible. And so you want to do this for your customers as well. Make calls to action frequent, make them visible, make them tactical and descriptive. Get a free quote now, reach out for your free quote, schedule your free quote, schedule your site visit. These are all great calls to action that you can use and make them frequent throughout the site so that if someone decides, you know what, I got the information I need, I want to reach out to this person, they can do it right away. If you don't have enough calls to action, that could be a lost customer right there. Finally, a clean and modern site so customers see that you care about your first impressions, right? That really the website a lot of time is the first impression that someone's getting about your business. Even if your business is growing off of word of mouth and referrals primarily, people are still searching you up online. Okay, people are still vetting you out because they need to see, you know what, does this person actually offer the thing I'm looking for? And is the thing that the person told me about this company, is that true? I want to see if that's true, right? I want to see if what they told me about the company holds up. And so to do that, they're looking you up online. Okay, so we want to keep it clean, modern, so that people see you really care about first impressions. What do we not want to do? Don't make it super complicated. Okay, if your website is complicated, there's too much copy. People are not going to get the information that they need. They're going to get confused and they're probably going to leave. You don't want to have too much text. You only want to have the text on the website in the paragraphs and in the headlines that matter. And so when you have that constraint put on the copy of the website, as in terms of having as little content as possible, it actually makes the content that you do have that much better because you constrain yourself to having the least amount possible. So finally, you don't want to have a ton of fancy animations and graphics so people get distracted, right? I see this on too many websites. especially in the home service business and industry. People have these fancy animations, graphics, flying in from different sides of the website. Now, a little bit of it is okay, right? Having maybe some shadows, some hover effects, on images. You don't want to make it too flashy though, so people get distracted. You really want the attention to be on the content, on the copy, right? On the text of the website, because that is what's going to get people to convert. Your animations, your graphics, the fancy stuff that you do on the website with design is not going to get people to convert into paying customers. It's what you say in the messaging. So that's what we really want to focus on here. So finally, next step, let's make our website. Now that we have defined our variables or sections of the website, what we actually want the website to do, let's start building it. So this is literally just going to be me building the website from scratch to finish. When you have something that you can actually upload to the internet and start showing to your customers, I'm going to go over everything from setting up your website, the template that you need on Squarespace, and then finally, building the website, the sections, how to use the different blocks, how to optimize it for mobile, and also how to get a domain name and how to connect it to Squarespace. So let's get right into it. It's just going to be one take from start to finish. We're going to do the whole thing. So this is my Squarespace dashboard. What you want to do is create an account on Squarespace. Very simple. Just go to squarespace.com, create an account, and then it'll pop you up to your dashboard here. Obviously, this looks different because I have some of my clients on my dashboard because, I do their websites, but this is what it should look like without any websites. We're using Squarespace because it's one of the great builders to get started off with if you're just new, and also you could scale up a website to have a ton of pages, and it's great in terms of the design tools that it has. Of course, there's hundreds and hundreds of website builders that you could be using. Other popular ones are Webflow, Wix, obviously Squarespace, and there's a lot more, but we're just sticking with Squarespace because it's not really super important which one you choose right off the bat. You just want to get started with something. So let's go ahead and create a website. Now, there's a few ways that we can go about this. You can go to Squarespace templates, and then what it'll do is give you a pop-up asking you about like your business, what you're looking for, or it'll just pop you up to this page. And now what it has is a lot of different templates. Okay, so you can scroll down through this and pick one out that you like. Now, it's not really important which one you choose. It's important what we're going to actually do with it. And so usually 99% of the time, I will just go ahead and create a blank template. So I don't start with any templates because I usually know exactly what we're going to do. My designer, he creates mockups. And so we really don't have to start with a template because we already know what we're going to do before we get to this stage. But if you're just starting out, just pick one that you like. Clarkson is really good. Baylard is really good as well. Knoll is pretty good too. I also like, where is it here? Bergen, and then Utica. I think that's Utica. I don't know how to pronounce it, but choose one if you find one here that you really like. If you can't decide on one, it's okay. We're going to go ahead and start with a blank template. So what we're going to do is just go back here to our dashboard. Oops, not the dashboard, right here. Create a website. I'm just going to put this guy in the bottom here. And then we're going to go blank template. Okay, so not starting with really anything. Okay, here we go. Start with this design. Perfect. All right, let this load. Squarespace title. So what we're going to do is just make the title your business name. So let's use an example of, let's say a general contractor. Okay, so we'll just call it like Mighty Renos, Vancouver. There you go. That's our fake business name. I don't know if that's the actual business name. If that is your business name, I'm sorry. Okay, Mighty Renos, Vancouver. Now, what we're going to do is start with the sections from top to bottom. The most important thing here, we're not focusing on design just yet. We'll get into that at the very end and make it look really good. We just want to get our content first. So coming back here to our variables, we need an intro section to sum up our offer or value proposition. So let's go back here and start designing. So what you want to do now is click the edit button here, and it'll let us start editing the website. Okay, we're going to add a section. And so now you can see here, when we add a section, it gives us a lot of different styles. So they're at a contact section, about us section, people, products, blah, blah, blah. The intro section, again, you could choose any one of these if you like the design, but ultimately we're going to be making this from scratch. So choose one here that you like. If not, we're just going to make it from scratch. So Let's see here. This one is pretty decent. It kind of gives us the things that we need to get started. So what I like to do is this little thing here at the bottom with the arrows and the lines lets us drag the section height. Okay, so now we can see it spans the whole screen, which is kind of what we want, at least in this stage. Now I want to have this text a little bit higher up on the screen just because we're going to have some more content. So what you want to do here is go edit section, height, and then just go large, or no, we'll do small, sorry, opposite, small. And then it lets us, gives us a little bit more wiggle room for our text, okay? Now what we're gonna do is the background. Let's just erase the background because right now we're not doing a photo or anything like that. We're just gonna keep it blank, the lightest. Okay, so what do we wanna do now? Again, going back here, we wanna look at our characteristics, right? We want it to be clear, descriptive, the headlines, right? Making the calls to action visible and also clean. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, let's see here, your dream space from concept to completion. Okay, say that. We'll say, actually, you know what? It'd be great to have an offer here. So if you have any guarantees, any money back guarantees, any risk reversals in your offer or value proposition to your clients, definitely have them in here. Display it so that, again, it captures people's attention. Now, again, I like, doing these video styles where there's no cuts so that you can see some of the mistakes that I make and some of my thinking behind these sections so that you can get the context behind it, right? So like I just put your dream space from concept to completion, but like after I read that out, it's kind of vague. It's not really saying what the services are. It sounds cool, but like it probably is not going to do the thing that we need it to do. So instead, let's say we will build your dream space on time and on budget, or you don't pay. We'll just say or you don't pay. You could also say guaranteed. Okay, that also works as well. So now that you have your offer, your headline that's catchy, it's a great tagline that draws people in, you're going to convert it to a heading 1. It's just the biggest heading. It also tells Google that, hey, this is what this person does. This is their offer. This is what category of services they are in. And it's also great for SEO. Okay, so we'll keep that as our headline. And we're going to go down here. Now that we have it, let's change our call to action. And we'll say, get a free quote today. If you offer same day quotes, that's amazing. Have that in there. Get a free quote today. Perfect. And then what we're also going to do is we can use the same text block, just press enter on your keyboard, and we're going to write a subheading. Okay, so let's just keep this paragraph 1. Actually, yeah, okay, that's fine. So we will help create your dream space in your home. We'll say we'll create your dream home and complete it on time and on budget, or we will work for free. Whatever the stipulation of your guarantee is, have it here. Or we will work for free until it is complete. We will work at no additional cost to you until it is complete and you are 100% satisfied. Another guarantee that you could have that's worked really well for renovation companies is having some sort of warranty. So like a 5-year guarantee that the renovation or the build that you have done or installed will hold the test of time and won't break. And if it does, then you'll repair it for completely free, no questions asked. Another guarantee that I've seen work really well for renovations, general contractors, is the 100% satisfaction guarantee. So you guarantee that the renovation, the final product, is going to be to their liking, 100% satisfaction, or you work for free until it is, right? And of course, with every single guarantee, there's stipulations. So if you do have a satisfaction guarantee, there's going to be stipulations in there that before you actually go into the renovation project, you define what a final product that they're looking for is going to look like, so that you can actually have clear defined variables of like, it needs this, it needs this, it needs this. This is what we need to accomplish that. And then you can actually really have a measurable satisfaction, because a lot of time the 100% satisfaction guarantee, it's subjective, right? People, what they like and what they don't like can be subjective, but when you write it out and have it in a contract where you define, I really want this thing, this is my objective, and then you define below it, okay, to reach that objective, what does this thing need to have objectively, right, in order to reach that? So we'll help you create your dream home and complete it on time and on budget, or we will work at no additional cost to you until it is complete and you're 100% satisfied. And then you could say something like a call to action. Check out our process below to see how it works. There you go. And then get a free quote today. Okay, there you go. So that section, we'll leave it for now. So what we're gonna do now is add a social proof section. So if we're using the example of a renovation company or a general contractor, a great example of social proof would be reviews. So if you have Google reviews, you can simply copy and paste the text into a review section like we'll do here. Or you can have a widget that you use, like an external widget with code that you paste into a code block in Squarespace that shows your Google reviews, which you have to pay for. So we're not going to do it in this video, but it's very, very powerful. So if you want to do that, you can check it out. But ultimately what we're going to show here in this example is before and after photos. If we're looking at, or if we're using the example of a renovation company, it's gonna be really powerful to show some of your projects that you've done for other customers, the before state of their home versus the after state. So what we're gonna do in that case is go add a section and then use images. But what we're actually gonna do, or I'll show you that you could do, is testimonials. If you wanna have some written testimonials from clients, you can use a section like this. It's one of their pre-made sections. Check these out as well. If you wanna use that, you just click on the section and then it pops it up here, okay? So I'm gonna remove this. Let's see here, remove that, and then add a section, and we're gonna go images, okay? So we'll choose this one, let that load, and then what you're gonna do is go edit section, columns. We'll have 2 columns for before and after. We're gonna turn on captions, and then what we're gonna do is go back here, edit gallery, and then under each photo, what we can say is, bathroom, renovation, before. Say North Van, out in the city, make it more specific. Always great. We'll go after. And then you could do, kitchen remodel, or whatever the project name was. Before. This one is going to be after. Okay, this one you could say North Van, full home renovation, North Van, full home build even, before, or you know what, that doesn't really make sense because if there is no before, North Van, let's see here, we'll just say kitchen renovation again, okay. All right, perfect. And then you can add in your photos here. Of course, we're not going to do that right now because we don't have any before and after photos, but you can add in your own photos yourself. To do that, all you got to do is go to edit gallery, and then you would remove these photos first, and then simply click on the plus sign, and then you could upload your own images or search for stock images here if you're going to be adding stock images to your site. Squarespace has a gallery or a library of free images that you can use on your website. Okay, so we got the first section. Okay. We've got our social proof section, and now we want to have a services section to tell people exactly what we do. So we're going to add a section, and again, Squarespace has these pre-made sections that you can use to display your services. Okay, so you can see our services here, right? Our services. It just depends on what you like and what actually makes sense. If you have 20 different services that you offer, what I would recommend is simplifying it into like 2 to 3 main like high level services. So for example, like HVAC, a lot of the time offer many different services, right? Across heating, cooling, indoor air quality, all those different things. But ultimately it comes down to like heating, cooling, and then, indoor air quality. So like those are 3 things that you can do, but below those, there's dozens and dozens of different services. Okay. So in our case, we want to make it as simple as possible. I like this section the Our Services section that Squarespace has here with the accordion style, because you can have a lot of information and a lot of content, but it minimalizes it, right? You can have the different bullet points of the high level service or service categories here, and then if they want, they can click on that to read up more. So again, with the headings, we'll make that a heading 2. We want to make them descriptive. We don't just want to have our services, right? So like you could say our renovation services, our renovation specialties even. And then we'll make that the call to action, but we'll do that after. For North Van homeowners. Okay, so we're actually calling out the target audience in this text. So we'll make this the call to action. What was it? Get a free quote today. Perfect. Okay, I obviously can't spell. I'll leave that, and we'll link the buttons at the very end. So here's the accordion. To edit it, what we want to do is click on the edit button, hit pen, and then go ahead here. So kitchens, we'll say kitchens. Obviously, I'm not going to write all of the text here, so you could write a description right there. Kitchens, bathrooms. You could say like full floor or like first floor. First floor, maybe make that a little bit more descriptive. And then here, and then of course you could do whatever else you want. You could do like laneway, homes, full home, or like new home builds, that sort of thing. And then yeah, there you go. Okay, so now that we have a few of our sections done, one thing that we might want to do is actually just go ahead and save the website, so that, in the case of your computer shutting down or the event of, a Wi-Fi crash, then all your progress is saved. You want to do this pretty frequently. So maybe as a rule of thumb, every time you complete one section, just go ahead and click that save button. Now what we might want to do is click exit and then view our website in the perspective of a website visitor, right, on a browser. So I'm just going to go ahead and decrease the size of this guy for now. There, it'll look like this when somebody sees it on the browser. So this is a really nice tool that I use pretty frequently when I'm creating a website on Squarespace. I just go ahead and save, exit the website, and then go back into it, but instead in the viewing mode like this. So this is what it looks like. Okay, not too bad. Now what I realize is, I might want to have a heading over top of these photos to describe or show the person what kind of section this is. Okay. Or have some sort of enticing headline. So what we're going to do here is edit section, and then it should give us the option to give us a heading, a gallery. So it actually doesn't. So what we're going to do instead is actually good practice. Go add section, add a blank section. Okay, and you can see here that when I add text and I put in our headline, so we'll say view some of the stunning spaces we have created for our North Van clients. Okay, we'll make that a heading 2, and then let's just put it to the right. Okay, so now when I decrease the size of this section, it only decreases, it doesn't decrease past a certain point. So what we'll do here is go edit section, and then the height, we'll make that just the 3 buttons here, or 3 dots, the ellipses. And then you can see here, we can adjust the height to whatever we want. And then if in this case, we can't add a heading or a title on this section, it's nice because this kind of acts as its own heading, and there's not a ton of space in between here. So it kind of adds a lot of unneeded white space. Okay, so there you go. We'll keep that there. And then again, we could save that, exit, and then check out how it looks on an actual browser. Okay, looks pretty good. Let's keep it. Let's go back to editing now. And in our next section, we are going to do our process, telling people about our process. So we're going to add a section. Now there might be a pre-made section here in Squarespace talking about our process. Frequently asked questions, that's also a great section to have if you want. But you know what? Let's add a blank section and do this from scratch ourselves to do some practice. I'm going to increase this. Here we go. Add a block. Okay, let's do text first. Let's make our heading. So we can say our process to complete your dream space. Let's not do, okay, our process, dream space, on time and on budget. Okay. And then we'll make that a heading too. Increase that size. And then what I really like to do when I can on a website in the copy is make steps. So like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, instead of just having kind of a section where you talk about your process in, you know, a big paragraph. It's not really the easiest to digest. And again, we want to create something with the minimalistic or the least amount of content as possible. So we're going to go add text here. And then let's just do 3 steps. So we're going to do 1, reach out to us with your idea. Okay. And then let's make that a paragraph. Let's see. Heading 4 is fine. We'll make that centered. Actually, you know what? Let's just keep with the same theme of to the side there. Okay, there you go. Reach out to us with your idea. And then I like to add a little bit of a description underneath. So click the button below to reach out to us with your dream space. We will get back. We will schedule a free site visit and give you a free quote. Okay, there you go. Make it super simple. We're going to duplicate that section, or that block, I should say. And we'll say number 2. What should we say for number 2? Number 2, we could say approve the proposal. And then let's just duplicate this first to get our section fully laid out, because these are not the right size. So I think we just need to decrease these by one unit. And then, so yeah, when you're changing the sizing of different blocks, Squarespace will tell you if the different blocks are the same size by the outline of it turning orange. So we'll here, there you go. So it's all the same size now. So approve the proposal. We will send you a proposal with pricing and scope of work for you to approve or make or request changes. 3 is going to be your start building. There we go. Start building. Once approved, we will start building your dream space based on the scope of work and deliverables. We'll say based on the defined objective. Based on the defined objective and timeline. And then let's add another call to action here. Again, we want to make it super simple for people to reach out to us, and that's going to be achieved through frequent calls to action. Get your free quote now. And you might see throughout this video that I'm not, 2 things. I'm not really super concerned right now about any text or formatting errors. You know, I'm kind of just doing this loosely. There's going to be spelling mistakes. There's going to be grammatical errors. And the second thing is I'm not linking these buttons to any page right now. We're going to do that at the very end. Okay. So we have our process now. Okay. 5, a contact section. Okay. So we want to have a contact section. Let's do that right now. Again, Squarespace, you could check out the different contact sections. So let's keep it super simple. What we want to do is add this, let's say. Okay. What we can even do is have our footer be the contact section to make it really simple. So what I'll actually do is leave it for right now, but if you do want to have your footer be the contact section, you just go add section, just like any other section, and you can add a blank section and then just input the different blocks that you need or choose one of these, but we're going to leave it blank for now. Okay, so contact us. So we're going to change this around. If you do have an address, put the address there. We'll leave it as is, but we'll say contact us. Instead, we're going to go fill out, or we'll say contact us to start the process of getting your dream space heading to. We'll increase that. And then we want to have instructions. So fill out the form to start the process. We will get back to you within 24 hours and book a site visit so we can gather the necessary information to give you the most accurate quote possible. Once the site visit is complete, you will be sent a proposal with a quote in 2 to 4 business days. Perfect. And then you could have your information here. So what I like to do sometimes is just say give or talk to us directly at, and then you can give your just your phone number here. Delete that. Say email us with detailed floor plans or designs. Can't spell today. And then email at email.com, right? And then your address. Say see us or come visit us at the shop, ! Okay, there you go. Paragraph 2, let's just make that a heading 4. Say, let's add a space in between there. There we go. Okay, heading 4 and heading 4. Beautiful. Next, we want to edit the contact form. So we're going to click this edit button. The first thing that you want to do, because you do not want to forget this, is go to storage and then go to the email. So it should already be connected to your email, but you want to make sure that it's connected to the proper email that you want these form submissions going to. Another thing that you do that I always do for each of my clients is you click on additional storage and then click on Google Drive. And what that'll do is set up a Google Sheet for your form submission so that whenever you get a new one, it automatically puts it in the Google Sheet for you so that you have them stored in one place. Of course, what you can also do is click Manage Submissions, and it takes you to this page here where all of your submissions will be tracked as well. But what we want to do here is collect the necessary information. So if you're just starting out your business, if you're pretty new, you might not know exactly what you need from your clients. But if we're using the example of a home service business, typically these are the fields that work across the board. We're going to edit the fields. So name, email, message. We want to add a field, definitely phone number. Okay, and we can edit this and then move these up or down based on what we need. Address is another one. Okay, you can add a field. We can go say checkbox and, how did you hear about us? You don't need to make this one a required field, but make whatever information you need from clients required. Message. So instead of saying message, let's say, tell us about your dream space in as much detail as possible. There you go. Edit that, and we'll put that at the bottom there. Add a field, we could do a drop down and say which, or actually, you know what? It'd probably be better as a text. as a checkbox. So we're going to go checkbox. This is just going to be a question about what kind of services they actually need to get a sense of what this project is going to be. You could say, my dream space is a new, or you could just say, yeah, options, option 1. So we'll say kitchen, bathroom. You could say laneway home, whatever services you offer. Full home reno, make that a lowercase h, and then whatever else you want to have here. Go back here, make that required so that people have to fill that out. Same with the rest of these, that whatever you need, right? So how did you hear about us? I usually don't like to make that a required field for people, just because it does have to do with marketing. We're using that to track information for the marketing going forward. So you don't need to have that as a required field for people to fill out, because sometimes they can get annoyed with that. Tell us about your dream space. That's required. Good. Address, got to make that required. Phone, make that required. Email, required. Name, required. Awesome. And then any other information that you want to have. For some of our general contractor clients, we also like to have a checkbox of their budget. Okay, so for example, you could say budgets, just say budget, right? Approximate budget. That also works. And then you can have ranges here. So like you could say under $20,000, depending on the size of your projects, and then you could say like 20K to 100K. Then here you can add another one, say 100K to 500K, and then we can go 500K to $1 million, and then you could say 1 million to 5 million. Whatever that's going to be. There you go. And then there you go. Now we have a contact form. Usually I like to put the how did you hear about us at the very bottom. That's detailed enough to collect the information that we need in order to make the next steps with our client. So we can also have, sometimes you mess up like I did here. My dream space is a new, and then you have a button that doesn't link to any text. So you can click on the edit form fields here. And where was it? My dream space is a new. Go to options, and then oops. So yeah, these need to be deleted. Okay, perfect. There we go. Okay, so we've created all the sections that we need to. Okay, so what is this? I'm going to create a footer so that I can show you guys actually how to create it. Social links, we'll delete that. Decrease the size of this section. Perfect. Let's add a section here, and we'll put a footer. Let's choose this one here. This is a pretty typical one, but I like it because it works well. It's minimalistic, and it's also clean. Okay, so Mighty Renos, that's our name, Vancouver. We'll keep this, just keep that information. Hours, and then follow. That's really all we need for this section, because again, we're creating just a one-page website. We're not creating a bunch of pages on this that we need to link in the footer. We can have here as well is a call to action button. I mean, we really don't need to have that here just because the call to action is right above the footer, but in some cases you might want to have that. Okay, perfect. So we've got the rough outline, the rough draft of our website. Where do we go from here? Well, first, what I like to do is save it, of course, and then go through the sections of the website, make sure that there are no spelling errors. The text is all good. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm going to cut the video, make sure there's no spelling errors, then come back, and then we can start with the actual design and the look and feel of the site. Okay, so I've gone through the website, checked for spelling errors, grammatical errors, everything looks good. And at this point, you should be there as well. So now what we're going to do is probably change the colors around, because that's something that we want to ultimately you have before we add in the images so that we could see how everything looks with the color palette. So to do that, what you want to do is click on the top right corner, this site styles button. It's just the paintbrush icon. It'll bring you to this section with a bunch of different options. So for example, if we want to change the font, you can go to fonts and then select your font pack. Okay. So I'll do this right now just to show you an example of how it actually works. Let's say, don't really like these. These don't really fit in with kind of the renovation design vibe that we're going for. Poppins is always great. Let's see here. This Gothic one is nice too. Let's go with, Franklin, whatever. Actually, don't like it. No. It's the one we just had. That one's not bad as well. There's serif ones, so you can click on these. These are more these are nicer ones. They're a little bit more clean, so let's just stick with this one. So let's go back here. Site styles, it's not the prettiest, but I'm just doing this for the sake of an example. Colors, and then you can go edit palette, which lets you edit the colors on the existing palette, or you can just choose a new one. So let's go with, a blue one's nice. This is kind of like a darker, more navy blue style. You can click around, see what you like, see what you don't like. But again, we're keeping it simple here. So let's just stick with the blue. And again, if we want, we can edit this, right? So we can make this kind of more pastel, darker. Let's just keep it there. Why not? Okay. Other options. So animations. So this lets you have some animations when people come onto the website and you scroll down. So you can see here the content on the website kind of fades in, scale, and then it shows you what it looks like. So when it comes to animations, like I mentioned before, I like to stay away from these as much as possible, but like slide is a decent one. It's fine. It's not going to be too distracting when people come onto the website. Same with fade. So if you really want to have an animation, just stick with fade. Spacing, you probably won't need to edit that. Buttons, same with that. I actually like to use a specific type of button, like a kind of a pill shape, if you like that. This one is a rounded rectangle, and then what you can also do is customize the corners. So you can say you could do like a 5. That's pretty decent. We'll keep it like that just for the sake of showing the example. Image forms, right? So you can edit the forms and what they look like, the design. We're not going to go into all this because again, it's not important. We're creating our first website. Doesn't need to be the best looking, doesn't need to blow people away. It just needs to do what our objective is, which is showcase our services, communicate our values, and allow people to reach out to us. So we're going to close that. Okay. So now we got our, the animation of the website, and we've got some the content down. We've got the color palette as well. Now let's add in some of our images. So on this section, what we can do is we can keep it just a white background with all this white space, and we can add an image to the right, or we can add an image background. So to do that, you're going to go edit section, background, and image. So we're going to go, you can again upload a photo from your computer. In this case, we're going to browse stock images. So we're going to say home. Okay. And let's just choose this guy here. It's got a nice homey feel to it. Why not? Let that load in. Okay. So what you're going to notice is that in a lot of images, especially if you have your own, they're not going to be optimal for having text on top of it that can be readable. So there's a few things that we can do about that. One, we can blur the image in the background, which isn't really optimal, especially if you're a renovation company, you want to showcase some of your work right off the bat. You can also create a background on this text, which I like doing if that is the case, because then you can see the image in the background as well. So it's kind of a win-win scenario. What you could also do is increase or decrease the opacity of the background, which I'll show you right now. So we can go edit section, background. And what we can do is the overlay. So we can increase it, right? So the brighter it gets, the easier it is to see that text. So what I like to do sometimes is use the darkest theme on the section because it kind of gives a nice feel to the background. And then you can also see that text. Okay, so we go to background. We can just increase the darkness of it, which lets us see the text a lot better. But we can also do, if you want to have this image be brighter and have people be able to see all the different details of it, we can go to the text, click the edit icon, and this little paint symbol, click that, and then the background color. What we can do is click the darkest color for the color of the background, and then just decrease the opacity of it, and then make this text all white. And let's increase the size of this because I think we just do that. And then this button, what we could do is just put it on top of that. So it's kind of in that section. All right, there we go. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you're designing sites on Squarespace is that, especially with this home section, which is the most applicable to this rule, the content when you're viewing it on an actual browser will be moved up a little bit. So you see this is like touching the bottom of the screen. It'll be moved up a little bit. I'll show you an example of this right now. So we can click this arrow button again to show what it looks like. You can see it's been moved up. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're designing the actual site. Click edit. I'm just going to decrease this for now because it's kind of getting in the way here. Edit this section. We probably want to increase the opacity of this. There we go. And what I also like to do as well, you can round these corners. So let's just do a 10, same as our buttons. All right, so it looks a little bit more clean. There we go. Now, oopsie daisies. Okay, we'll build your dream space on time and on budget, guaranteed. What you can also do is select some keywords in the title, which I like to do. You know, on time, it doesn't look as good. On budget. So these are like keywords that you might want people to see. So you can change the color of them. You can bold them, right? On time and on budget, right? Then here you go. Looks good. Like that section. Scrolling down, you can see here, this text is a little bit too close to that section before. So we're going to increase the size of this. We'll move this down just to create some space there. I think we might want to create some more even. There, that looks a little bit better. There we go. And we already got images here. We don't have to have images at every single section, just FYI. But it is good to have as many as you can include because it adds some of the personality to your website and some of the branding as well. Okay, that section looks good. Our process, don't necessarily have to have an image here. But what I like to do sometimes, especially if you're a renovation company or you have before and after photos, or just in general, is having one section and just what background is an image of your company. So we'll do add a blank section. I'll show you what I mean here. Edit section, background, add an image, and then we can do like a team photo, right? So we'll say team photo. We want to have something where everybody's looking at the camera. There you go. That's a good team photo for a business. Let that load in. Boom. Team photo. There we go. Awesome. Okay. And so having some sort of team photo where you can show off your branding, show that you have custom apparel for your brand, that you really care about how you portray yourself to customers, and that you have a team that's really dedicated, that has a great work environment, is going to differentiate yourself that much more on the website to potential customers. So anytime you can include these photos on the website, definitely do that. Change the color around a little bit because it does look a little bit off. Background. Okay, yeah, that's good. There we go. And then contact us right there. There we go. So what we can do now is some of the technical aspects of having a one-page website. There's two ways that we can do this because we have buttons, right? We want to link our buttons to the contact form. The easy way would be to simply create a new page. So you can go exit and then click on website. And then the main navigation, just create a new page. And then you can create from a page layout and create a contact page. Okay, you could absolutely do that. If you want to keep it to just one page, you can also create a code block, and then in the individual buttons, they link to that code block at the bottom. But I'll show you both ways just to show you how it works, okay? Again, we want to keep this simple, so let's keep it a very, very minimalistic contact page. We're going to go contact. All right, click the settings. Contact, that's the page title, navigation title, the URL. It's just going to be contact. Leave it as is. Close. Go to the home page. Edit. And then on your buttons, click on the button, edit button, and then link it to the contact page. So when you click the /, it'll bring up the different pages. So just click on the contact page, save that. We're going to go exit. And then on that contact page, I'm not going to edit the entire thing because we just showed you how to create a contact section. Just go through the exact same steps for creating this contact form and the text that you see on the right or the left-hand side here. Go back home, click on the arrow to use and see the website as it would appear on a browser, then click that button to make sure it works. Looks like it's working, we're good to go. Now, the second way that we can do this, if you want to just keep it one page, is go edit here. Scroll to the very bottom where your contact section is, and we're going to just copy this. So copy the headline, okay? Keep that in our back pocket. move this down, and we're going to add a code block. So we're going to go, let's see here, not embedded, oops, sorry about that. Code, have that up here, edit that. So we're going to sit, and then now we're going to paste it. So it'll give you, hello world automatically. We're going to go heading 2, so it'll just be H2, and then A equals their anchor, A equals, and then we'll say, or I think it's ID. I think it's ID. It could be one of the two, but ID equals contact, okay? Just leave it as that, okay? There you go. So it looks the same as before, but this is actually a code block now, okay? It's a heading 2. And then just for the sake of cleanliness, we'll put the H2 in the other bracket there. Go to the very top, and with the button, what we're going to do now is link it to the page that we're on, and then we're going to have a hashtag and then say contact. So I think it's ID. I think that's the proper tag. So let's just see here. Get a free code today. There we go. And then it links us to the contact form. There you go. Now, if you really want to get fancy with it, you can add in a smooth scrolling behavior onto the website so that when you click on that button, like I just showed you, it doesn't just, the screen doesn't blank out and then it goes to that section. It has a smooth scroll effect where it just scrolls down the page automatically when you click that button, which is a little bit nicer loading screen. If you want to do that, what you're going to do is click on website tools while you're in the pages section. If you don't know how to get there, on the home page, you just go to website. Now you're on pages, website tools, custom CSS, and I just copy this. So it's just HTML, open bracket, scroll dash behavior, colon, smooth, semicolon, and then close bracket. There you go. That's all you need to do. And then we're going to save that. Make sure you save it. Go back and we're going to test it. Click on the button and then it scrolls down. Looks a lot nicer, right? So there you go. There you have it. What we're going to do now is go to each of the buttons, click edit. Each of the buttons, make sure that they all link to that contact form or the contact page, whichever one you choose to use. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to make a huge difference if you just decide to go with a separate contact page. It's a little bit easier. You don't have to have this custom code in it. Either way, you're accomplishing the exact same thing. It's really just up to you which one you want to use. So we're going to make sure that all of these link to either the page or the form at the bottom, and we're good. Everything is set up on the website. We're ready to go now at this point. If you want to have additional sections in the website, like if you have, for example, these before and after photos, but also some testimonials, some reviews, you can have those in as well. But just have them in different sections, right? You could split it up into different sections, whatever you like. Now, as I'm looking at this again, I might want to actually have this photo in between these two sections. It just splits the information up a little bit nicer. Okay, we're gonna go back here. And then what I would do, I'm not gonna do this entire process live right now, but just go through your website, look at every single piece of content, all the text, the images, the buttons, as it would appear on a browser, just put yourself in the shoes of your website visitors, right? And your ideal customers, and look through this website. Is it user-friendly, right? Make sure that your content communicates what it needs to do in the least amount of text as possible. So after the website looks great, we've designed it on our computers to look good on a computer screen, we want to go to mobile view and optimize it for different types of devices. So we're going to click edit here. And now this is what it's going to look like on a mobile device. And you can see as I scroll down here, there's like some sections don't look that great, right? Some of them are fine, like that one's fine. But other sections, the content gets mixed around a little bit. So we want to make sure that it looks good on a phone. So what we can do here is increase the size of this section, increase this block here. Okay, we're going to increase that button size so it looks good. Let's center that. It looks a little bit better. Okay, see, now that looks a little bit better. Scroll down here. That looks fine. This button needs to be moved. So sometimes Squarespace is a little bit wonky when you're designing it in the mobile view, which is just one of its flaws, but it's not really going to pose that much of a problem. Increase the size of this button. There we go. And that contact form looks good. Make sure the spacing is all good. There we go. Footer, looking good. Maybe save that. Squarespace, as opposed to other website builders, doesn't give you other devices to view the website on. So what you can do is just go to your browser and just minimize the screen to whatever size device you're going to be using. So for example, we'll switch it back here to computer screen. Okay. And now if we want to view this on a tablet, it might be, closer to this size. And so as you can see here, if someone's viewing it on a tablet that's around this size, maybe an iPad, it's not going to look good. So we want to increase the size of this and then move our blocks around. I'm not going to do it again on this size screen, but you get the idea. So keep moving the website around just like this so you can see what it's going to look like on different size screens. And again, you know what? That doesn't look as great. Let's move that back, right? So keep doing that until it looks great on all platforms, because you want to make sure the website is optimized for every single type of device. And this is good for both SEO and also just your website visitors to make sure that your website is as functional and usable, viewable as possible. Okay. So now that everything looks good, we're going to go and actually upload the website to the internet. So how do we do that? If you don't already have a domain name, what you're going to do is you're going to go to settings, domains, and then get a domain. So if you don't have one, you can just purchase one on Squarespace, get a domain, look up the domain that you want. So it gives us some options already. So mightyrenosvancouver.com. If you can get a .com domain name, definitely go ahead and do that. But if not, .ca is also great as well. Pick your domain name, click on it, click check out. Make sure that all the information looks good, and then buy the domain and it's yours. Then what you want to do is connect the domain name. So if you buy one on Squarespace, it should automatically connect you or connect your new domain name to the website and you're all good. And then what you want to do after you've connected your domain name is click on site availability and make it public. Of course, I don't have a domain name connected here, so I can't make it public. But if you're creating a new website on Squarespace, you have to upgrade it and purchase a plan just like any other website platform. This is not exclusive to Squarespace. Anytime you're making a new website, you have to purchase a hosting plan. So with Squarespace, just purchase your plan. For this case, I would use the business plan just because it gives you the option to see the analytics about customers, about where they've come from, how many website visitors you're getting, your form submissions, button clicks, all those really important metrics. It lets you see those. Pick your plan, and then what you'll be able to do is push your website live. So get a domain name, get a plan, and then you'll be able to push the website live. Now, if you already have a domain name on a third-party platform like GoDaddy, for example, and you want to connect it to Squarespace, Squarespace has really detailed instructions for how to do that. I'm not going to go through the entire process right now, but it's very, very simple. All you have to do is click use a domain I own, enter in the domain name that you have. For example, I have flexwebdesign. Enter, and it sees that it's registered with GoDaddy, and I registered it on December 25th, 2022. So what I can do is connect the domain. Of course, it's not going to give me that option because I already have it connected to my website. Okay, but if you don't have your website or your domain connected to a website already, you would click connect the domain. That's the way that I would recommend you do it. Keep it separate from Squarespace. Don't transfer it. And then follow the instructions that it gives you on GoDaddy to connect it to Squarespace or whatever domain provider that you use. And again, once you've done that and it's connected, you can upgrade the site availability to public so that everybody can see it. Once you've done all those steps, your website is ready to go. Okay, guys, it has been a journey, but you finally made it to the end of the video and you have completed your first new website. Of course, it's very simple. It's minimalistic. It's not a big website by any means, but it's going to do the job that it needs to do of being your first website, letting people reach out to you in a very easy format that's functional and communicate your services and your value to potential customers in a way that you weren't able to do before. If you got any value out of this and you want to keep up with my content, subscribe below and I'll catch you in the next one. Good luck with using your first website.